Hello and welcome to part 2 of Metroid Zero Mission. In the last part we got all the way back up to our ship on Brinstar. This episode we're going to be having a lot of controller issues, I can tell you that. Especially during an upcoming boss fight. So now we're actually leaving Brinstar. That's actually the last of those blocks we'll be seeing forever, really. So back in here in Norfair, there are two things we can do right off the bat. First off is have controller issues. No, not really. God dang it, controller. First off, jump up here to get an optional mission pack. This is still not going to be 100% and the screen ratio is a bit off, I noticed. I have to check that out on the recorder. In this room we have, it's pretty much just, can you get to this without dying? Missile tank. So yeah. Sorry if I sound a bit out of it, I'm a bit tired, or, well, not even tired, half asleep still. So as for why my controller's having issues, I think I already mentioned this, but something's wrong with the wire. I have to reposition it really often. It gets awkward to control every now and then. Jump up here since now that we have the grip to get this missile tank. And there's a save room, one of the very few times I'll be controller issues. One of the very few times I'll be showing you a save room. In fact, it's literally along the path. Now we have these enemies which are really weird. I'm not sure what exactly they are. They shoot a lava ball or something out of you every now and then, but other than that, they're really odd. And again, it's Metroid, it's science fiction. The enemies make no sense, as we'll be seeing later on. And now we get our next power-up, the Ice Beam. First appearing in the original Metroid. This pretty much gets rid of the ability to kill enemies in one shot, but gives you the ability to turn them to platforms. Now we get green doors, which you can't do anything about yet. I think we won't for about another half the game. Come on, wall jump. Let me be badass. There we go. To the left over there is a map room, but I do not need it. And now we get to the point in which case this is just handing us things to use as targets. It's a bit weird. And now we get the location of our next place to go, not just power up. Controller, I can hear you being issued. And that leads us into our next area, which is aptly named after the boss of it. It's Kraid! I'll get into Kraid when we get to him later this part, and let me tell you, it's gonna be a fail. That's not my proudest moment in this game. Can I be? Yeah, oh. With the controller issues, it's really awkward to do the wall jump. I can tell you that. Up there, get a missile tank. I found that probably was found by accident by a lot of people. That's really all I have to say for this one, really. Now for another power-up. shoot these 3 blocks that I'm shooting specific, and freeze him when he's at the high peak of his jump. Peak of his jump, I mean. Jump on top of him and you can get this missile tank. Oh, I can hear the controller problems here. That's getting on my nerves. Am I something? What am I? Something guile? Ew. What? Let me go. Hello, save room. We'll be seeing you only 3 more times. Yeah, 3. And we'll jump up there, or just climb on those guys to get back up to the elevator to Brinstar, so we can make our way to the next area. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to fix that recorder because... Oh wait, that's why, never mind. Because for me right now I can't see the very bottom for some reason, and I realize why. Okay, we're good. Anyway, now we're pretty much heading back to the beginning of the game to get to the next area. And I decided to shoot out these blocks instead of going up the top row, which probably would have been a bit shorter. Come on, controller, work with me here. Yeah. I'm gonna have to really work on fixing that controller. Up there you can get to another power-up, but I decided not to do it this time. Back under here. And we've reached our target, and I just realized... Oh wait, no, you're not supposed to get that energy tank yet, are you? You can probably get it by bomb jumping next part. Go down, thank you. And now we have what is possibly one of my favorite music tracks in the game, Kraid's Lair. In fact, I'm going to be quiet for a bit here so you can hear it. Fantastic song, ain't it? I remember when I first heard this. And now we get some sort of relic that only has a purpose in this one area, because we're never going to get to see this kind of gimmick again in another area in this game. Shoot the thing. There we go. It's just literally a little elevator, plus we finally get our second energy tank. I think I had like 3 at this point in my short fusion. Goodbye, save rooms. Never see you again, because I'm never coming back this way. Now we get a pathetically easy boss. and you're dead. That is the fastest I've ever taken that guy out. I have never done that fast. Which is, I guess, where I used up most of my luck, because the next boss we face, you'll see the failure. To get this method tank, you can also freeze the guys walking around I don't know the names of, and jump on top of them, but I just decided to jump for it because I know I can make it. So, that's it for this part of Kraid's Layers. We're heading over to the final part of it. This place is really short. Again, when you play this game as many times as I have, you know your way around. That's pretty much just what happens. Now, for some reason here, I don't know why, but I take the side route right here, while it would have been faster just to go straight down then to the left. And again, I was half asleep last night when I recorded this. These enemies take way too many hits to kill at this point in the game. It's like you're supposed to come here a bit later, but this is when you are supposed to come. Okay, that mic was muted for a moment there. Blowing up, opening that door because I'll be going through there next part. I planned this playthrough a bit ahead, considering I know what I need. Now, I remember in one area in Kraid's Lair, there are some really tricky items to get. Can't remember the specifics, but there is one that requires you to be able to jump onto the little moving platform thing as Morphal, and then there's this one right here, which I still don't know how to get to this day. I've only 100% this game once, so I don't remember much. Yeah, it's probably somewhere around there. I might like it's the middle block of that little thing that's poking out. In the first of those enemies in this game, those things take way too many hits, but if you just use missiles like I do, it's pretty easy. Now the missile tank, I wonder what my percentage is going to be by the end of this game. And I seriously don't know. I haven't had this all recorded yet. I'm recording these right before I commentate over them, so... Because part one was recorded 2-3 days ago, maybe? To the right where another missile tank is, but I don't need it. And it looks like we're getting another forbidden item, and since I know I forgot to not be quiet over it, the little jingle mix this time, I'm going to be quiet over it this time. And here we go. Bone chilling. That still used to scare me. And if you play Super Metroid, you recognize that was also a familiar item. I'm noticing a pattern. It's like they added some Super Metroid powers that might be a bit too overpowered for them to be most part of this game. They're forbidden. We don't know how to use them. Yet. And now we get this room, which has a bit too many enemies in it for its own good and for speedrunning's sake. Another save room. Goodbye. And actually, that little block there was the first... It was actually the first instance of like 3 in this game where I actually got a tiny bit lost. I don't know why it happened, it just did. And we get the classic Metroid door, shoot it in the eye with a missile to kill it. Which, considering in Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion, those take 3 missiles. Until you get the Super Missile upgrade. Jesus, Kraid, you really got big since the original version. Yes, instead of making him about the same size as Samus as he was in the original version of Metroid, in this version, not only do I epically fail at him for this recording, Murphy's Law! I'll get into what Murphy's Law is in a second, but he took more after his Super Metroid self, who is even pathetically easier than this, but I'm gonna be failing at him, considering the majority of the rest of this video is just me facing him. In terms of his appearance, this is really Kraid's only... Kraid is, for those who don't know, is, from what I've heard, the second in command to the Space Pirates to Ridley, which would make him third in command overall. The leader of the Space Pirates is still Mother Brain, the one that we were sent here to destroy. Now, in terms of what Murphy's Law is, it is the law that anything that can go wrong will at the worst possible time. But it's also known as the recording curse, and those would be jump cutting, trying to get my controller to work. That under 2 minutes, believe it or not. The Kraid's getting mighty annoying there, Kraid. Out of missiles, and this is gonna look painful. My controller's dead too. There we go. This is what I mean. I mean, seriously, this is almost painful. This part of it is almost painful for me to watch, considering how much my controller is malfunctioning. Gotta fix this fucking wire. Work to be done for later, I suppose. Luckily, while this part's taking forever, the final part of this fight will be over fairly quickly, considering I just abused the charge shot. Because if you're out of missiles, the charge shot can hurt any of the bosses in this game, I think. I've only really had to use it on him, Kraid here, and another one. So you can actually get power-ups for from those nails he throws, I guess. But they're not much of use considering you can only get 1 missile power-up at a time, most likely. It does only give you 2 missiles, but luckily this is where the fights start getting easy again for me. Until I take a lot more damage, considering if you jump and charge a shot, I'll do this later on in the fight, but right when you hit that block of your fire, you will hit his third eye, which is what you're supposed to hit to open his mouth. Actually, listen to the song. This is a remix of the original Super Metroid boss fight theme, whereas the other theme became Ridley's theme, and we all know how that came out. In terms of how popular it was. Finally, he's red, which means he's going 3 times faster. I'm not sure how I managed to get a shot in when his mouth was in the process of closing. I guess it's just because of the hitbox. Works like that. And you're dead. Finally. That took way too long. Anyway, with that, his eyes glow red. At this point, we don't know what that does. It doesn't do anything for now, so just ignore that. Thank you for dropping health. And beyond here, we get by far one of the coolest Metroid power-ups, the Speed Booster. See you guys next time.